Nice to meet you. My name is Dave. I work at a company here in Holland that is producing software for managing surveillance cameras. And the presentation today is about what's going to happen with your privacy and how far is technique going currently with surveillance cameras and that area. I am an outsider. I really know that. I'm trying to drink this Coke because I know the hacker's candy. I use it myself. Well, caffeine. So 2 a day makes you
keep the doctor away.
Anyway, so I'm trying to blend in a little bit, so to see if I'm more fit in the group here. Okay, I'm going to give you a presentation on video surveillance. Everybody might have an idea on video surveillance and how it's currently developing. It's changing rapidly at this moment because a few years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, everything was analog, only codecs. But I'll get back to that later. You can run, but you can't hide. And on top of there, you see the word privacy is really falling off at this moment. So a little bit of history on CCTV to start with. In 1942, it was in Germany where the first surveillance camera was used. It was used to monitor the V2 rocket systems, and the system was designed by Siemens. In the 70s, especially in England, they started to do a lot of monitoring on the streets, a lot of cameras on the street. Well, if you go to England now, really on every street corner you will find cameras. It's still there, and you're monitoring. If you walk around London, there's a suggestion on every hour you walk around London, there's 24 hours of video on you. So just to give you an impression. In the 70s and 80s, the cassette recorders hit the market, and CCTV was commonly used in banks. And later, retailers, they also found it convenient, and convenience stores and gas stations followed quickly. In the 90s, there were digital video recorders. We're still talking about an analog signal, and the analog signal was plugged into digital video recorders, and all the video was recorded on hard disks. In 1996, there was the first IP camera. It was found by Axis in 1996. I was talking about a camera that was able to do 1 frame per second, and I believe 644/80 resolution. We'll get back to that later. In 2010, suddenly there was a big change. Video content analysis became more serious reality. And I'll get back to you and I'll show it to you what's really going on at this moment. You won't believe it and you won't feel secure in the street anymore. Today, everyone has a smartphone. And when we talk to each other, we have to, oh yeah, that movie. Oh, wait, YouTube, and you find a video. Video is common good. Everyone has video in the pocket. And that is also the danger. You know this movie? Echelon Conspiracy?
Yeah.
Okay, let me give you a trick.
Phone call. Surveillance camera is monitored. Everyone except this one.
Change your flight time. Is something wrong, sir?
I think I need you to change my flight.
Flight 4400 has crashed outside Bangkok.
Every day.
Slot machine 13.
It's yours.
Freedom. And all.
And once a person gets hooked on making easy money, we think they start receiving instructions.
You can keep it.
This is phone. This is about Echelon.
Always a big money.
Can't you interrogate the recipients?
They're all dead.
Every government agency wants it.
What's Echelon? It's an NSA central computer. Filters all global communication.
Anything to get it.
Recipients, they seem random.
Why him? Any idea?
Everyone's random.
FBI crash course? Brooklyn childhood. When do we go live?
Messages are coming from inside U.S. territories.
All tracking systems off now.
Echelon conspiracy.
If you turn me off, I'll kill you.
Well, a lot of violence. It's a good start, I guess. Well, central CIA computers, and if you turn it off, it will kill you, and it can follow you everywhere. How much of this is really true today? Then, shortly after I agreed to do this presentation, a new series in Holland aired. Maybe you've seen it. It's called Person of Interest. And I know the introduction video. You have to really look at the introduction video of this one. It's going a little bit shorter as the previous one. But
You're being watched.
look at what you see on
Government
the
has a
screen.
secret system, a machine that spies on you every hour of every day. I know because I built it. I designed the machine to detect acts of terror, but it sees everything. Violent crimes involving ordinary people, people like you. Crimes the government considered irrelevant. They wouldn't act, so I decided I would. But I needed a partner, someone with the skills to intervene. Hunted by the authorities, we work in secret. You will never find us. But victim or perpetrator, if your number's up, we'll find you.
Okay. Please remember the video, how it was shown to you. The rectangles around the persons and all the other information. I will give you a demonstration on how it looks for real. Because this is just a video. And the big theme of this presentation is that security comes at a price, but is it truth or is it fiction? How far are we blended in at this moment? Like in the introduction on the trailer of Person of Interest, the guy said, since 9/11, a lot of things changed. I'll get back to that later. Okay, now let me show you some things on the surreality, what is not real. There's a lot of things are possible today, but not everything. So I'm not going to show you the complete video. But it's going, this video tells you, oh, let's enhance this image. Oh, I see a license plate. From 1 pixel we can make a complete number.
Alright. There, preset.
This is fiction.
Vector in on that guy, back again.
So we have right here on the spot.
With the right equipment, you can enlarge and sharpen.
What's that?
They always use the keyboard.
Clear that up any?
In section A6.
Enhance the detail and
Enhance the reflection.
The reflection of
I think you get the idea. Let's zoom into the license plate, and then they zoom into the screw on the license plate, and they can see the images on the screw, and they say, oh, let's zoom in a little bit more, and you can see the reflection on the screw, that you can recognize the person finally. This is fiction. Well, is it fiction? Is it really fiction? Well, let's give you one good example. What you see is what you get. In 1953, there was a book, Kuifje, or Tintin, and they called it Destination Moon. This book was written in 1953. You see the rocket, they're ready to go to the moon. Do you know the year where Neil Armstrong really landed at the moon? 69. Yeah, great, 69. So what is invented before will be a reality later. So let's go back to Kelly from CSI Miami. I really like that chick. She zooms into a license plate from 1 pixel and then says, oh, let's enhance it a little bit more, extra filter here, there, and then hey, there's a number. Okay. The industry responded on this. We said, okay, shit, yeah, we have only a VGA resolution at this moment for security cameras. yeah, you cannot zoom into that. Well, you cannot even read a license plate on it. So we have to do something about it. So there's Moore's law. You know Moore's law? It's designed for Intel, and the guy worked at Intel, and it says it's an observation of the history of computing hardware. The number of transistors on integrated circuits doubles approximately every 2 years or 18 months. So if I look at the security cameras and the development of the last years, you see in 1996 the first camera I just showed you a picture of, it was 0.1 megapixels in 1 frame per second. In 2010 we introduced HD TV on 30 frames per second. Currently at my office we have a full HD 60 frames per second security camera. Yeah, we can make better picture quality than a lot of Hollywood or porn industry. Okay. And we already have 3, 5, 20 and even more megapixel cameras. So I believe that the border is around 28 megapixel. Is the same quality as analog. You can imagine we are not putting small pictures anymore. We're dragging wallpapers through the computer. So you see a small picture there where it says this is the smallest resolution and it's going to be larger and larger and larger. And then we go back to Kelly from CSI, and then she said, oh, let me zoom into the license plate. Oh, no problem anymore. This can be done for real. Let's zoom into the screw. Oh yeah, that can happen as well. I've been to a security show in England last year, and they demonstrated a 20 megapixel camera to me. And it was pointed on a building in New York. And you could see the whole streets and a lot of windows, and they zoomed into the one window. And you can really see the paintings inside the building hanging on the wall. So, trust me, you want to put some foil on your windows. Okay, what are we doing with the license plate information? Well, Jan and I were just talking about it while we were parking our car. He said, why do we have to put a license plate number in that computer? Why? I said, because the guys who are checking you for the parking, they are too lazy to get out of the car. They have a camera inside the car, and the camera spots the vehicles and is checking it live on the database of the people who pay for the car. And the police are doing the same. And they push a button, they don't have to get out of the car, and you will have your ticket at home before you leave here.
It's actually even worse. For Utrecht, it was a must to put your license plate information in, and they were already checking if you had paid your car tax, if you were driving around uninsured, etc.
Absolutely. Well, I was last week I was going to Belgium, and I noticed that when I crossed the border, there are some cameras up there. And I was thinking, what is these? Are not normal cameras. These are actually these cameras. And in the background, no, you don't see it very good, but in the background you can see a border crossing where you can see how it looks like. Well, it's something like this. Maybe you have seen this. Every time when you see these cameras, they take your license plates, they save it in a database, they check you for your taxes, they check you for your criminal records, and they don't say they do it. But I cross the border to Belgium, I come back in the evening. So they have a record of me leaving Holland, and they have a record of me coming back to Holland. Well, I didn't bring fireworks this time. And the other cameras below, they are often used for tracking, counting the amount of traffic in streets and so on. But also used to track you for speeding, for example.
Are these standard cameras, Dave? Or are these standard cameras, or do they have a higher frame rate? Or
those are often infrared cameras, so they are very sensitive for infrared, as you can see here. It's grayscale usually, and a lot of these are actually the ones used by the police inside cars. You can see the infrared LEDs. This is a normal camera, but you see 3 different images on 3 different frequencies, and then there will be automatic recognition. So they use a camera, but we don't use the picture for looking what kind of car it is. There are 2 different techniques used. OCR techniques, And there's a newer technique going on, the same technique that is used by mail for handwrite checking, and they use this for license plate recognition. And actually at this moment we can do 95 plus accuracy on the license plate. The license plate cameras also are able to measure the speed that you're driving. So, but because it's a 95% accuracy, so they are not yet allowed to send you a ticket if you're speeding. But believe me, maybe in 2 years they will. The speed they measure, the license plate can go up to 220 kilometers an hour, and they catch your license plate. If you see the tracking systems, the long distance tracking systems, there's one trick that you can avoid it. You have to drive over 180 kilometers behind the truck for 1 meter. Otherwise you're fucked. Okay? You have a question?
Why is it only 95% accuracy? Because you have like 60 frames, so you can just pick another one.
Well, these cameras are not used on 60 frames.
Okay.
But I'm sure in a few years they will. They can measure the distance between you and the car in front of you. So if you're plucker, what is it? So tailing, then you can get your ticket as well. In a few years. Okay, remember the video from a person of interest? Okay, this is the real video content analysis. This is information that can be provided by calculating systems, by intelligent video content analysis systems. So let me show you a video. Hey, kind of looks like what we saw on the person of interest movie. Of course, this is all based on motion detection and directive motion detection, but the systems go further. They can see if it is a person, is it a car, is it an animal, is it a suitcase, is it a car, what color it is. There's a lot of parameters that you can put in there. And in this movie, it's actually, this is very simple analytics. This is a cross-line analytics. Okay, when I cross this line, then I can define a response. Okay, let's see another form of analytics. There's also a kind of cross-line detection, but it's more enhanced. Here we go. I'm a sales guy, and I guess this guy also is a sales guy, and he never went to the military because he's wearing his leather shoes, and he drops in, and now he's. But anyway, you can define an whole area, which you can say, okay, when he's here it's okay, when he's there it's not okay, and there's a lot of parameters that you can give. Like for example, if people are grouping together, you can say, okay, it's not allowed to group together, or it's allowed to group together only on this area but not on the other area. So let's not speak about young people. You know, when old people, 60, 70 plus, they all come together with their cars. Yeah, and especially when they do that in supermarkets, you want them to get the hell out. But in this case, we can put some analytics on there, and if there are some older people grouping together, we can kick their butts. Here's another kind of analytics, for example, the directional. If somebody is ghost riding some way, or he is parking in an area where he's not allowed to park, then you don't have to send out a guy to check it again for if there's somebody illegally parked. No, you will get an event on your computer and you can make a picture of his license plate and send him a nice picture. Thank you. This is a little bit more advanced. You see cars, you see people. There's a lot of stuff going on in here. And there's a lot of directive analytics, so there's a lot of things that can be done on a simple place. For example, traffic management. And this one is more dangerous. I'm going to get in there now, because what you see here is heat mapping. So security cameras are no longer only used for security, they're used for marketing purposes. Okay, let's make a heat map of a supermarket. And I see a lot of heat around the milk, and well, a lot of people buy milk, so I have to, when I want to sell more stuff, I have to make something around that area where the stuff that I want to sell. And all marketing strategies are based on heat mapping, like this. Okay. Something else. Thermal imaging. Okay. Did you see the new show on TV? The police helicopter? The nice video streams? Well, if you look at this camera here, you can see my marks there, right? Yeah. This is called a FLIR thermal camera. The price of this camera is 750,000 euros.
How much?
750,000 euros.
Oh.
And there's a cooling system with stickstoff. I don't know the English word. Okay. And below there you see an American spy airplane. You see the American spy airplane has the exact same camera. And it's being used for thermal imaging. What is thermal imaging? Thermal imaging is a different way of filming people. It's not, I cannot recognize who it is, but I can recognize that somebody is climbing my fence. Well, by the way, these cameras for security purposes are also quite expensive. It starts with 2,000 euros. So let's show a video. Where's my mouse? She is writing some heat signatures.
Nice smart board.
Yeah. You can see smoke, yeah, no problem. There's a guy in the woods, but you won't see him, but you can see him with a thermal camera. First it was designed for military purposes, but now it's going to be used more and more in security. Actually, there's a house in Laren, and for a very, very rich guy, and he has 18 cameras of these types in his garden. I think you can imagine the use of this, right? It's a very high detection rate. And if you use thermal imaging in combination with video content analysis, then you have a very trustworthy system, if you choose the right analysis.
Is it the main reason why they use thermal images because bodies have a heat temperature and they're easily to detect?
Well, if you look at this comparison, this is night vision.
Yeah.
And the night vision, what they do is they enhance the light that is already available. And heat signature is a total different way of capturing an image. So they take the heat signature. There's a lot of detail that you can see, and every object, even this Coke, is giving a heat signature.
This is a big difference, yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's still electromagnetic spectrum, so.
Absolutely. You can fool it with YouTube. Send cloth bags when you wear this, yeah, like a ghillie suit they call it in the army. The guys wear ghillie suits for a reason, just not to get dressed. Well, actually, I had one of these cameras in my house a few weeks ago, and I have a laminate floor, and it's very shiny laminate floor. And I had a small picture of, I was filming my cats with it. I have two young cats, they were washing each other. I'm going to show you the FLIR image of that as well. So, okay, if you want to see this, I'll give you the presentation later. So, it's used for detection, often in combination with regular cameras, because you cannot recognize a person who it is, but you can detect it. Often used in combination with video content analysis, and cameras can measure temperature, the exact temperature of every pixel. And in the military they already use megapixel quality for this, but in security it's not allowed. It's 320, 240 maximum. And if you want to have more, and it's going to be released soon that we are allowed to have VGA quality 640, 480, we can do more, and we can provide more reliable analytics and so on. So let me show you the video of my two cats. And you can see the reflective floor here. Yeah? Everything is having a heat signature. This was a boomer on Facebook, really. Actually, my brother responded, he said the image is not so clear. I just said yes, I know. That camera only 2,000 euro. Okay. Another interesting thing. We are monitored by traffic cameras every day. And all these cameras, they have different opportunities. There's on the A12, I guess it was, there's a test area for traffic.
Between Utrecht and Woerden.
Yeah, my radar detector really goes wild when I drive there. It's going crazy. But if you look at the image here, actually this is a normal camera, but it can be a license plate camera. Well, what the heck is this? What is this? Cameras are used as sensors. And what are they sensing? Not my license plate? Or what else? My speed, my distance, if I paid my tax. So, and infrared lighting here. So next time when you drive by, try to see if you can recognize something. Here you see the area where they do the traffic monitoring in Holland, the security information teams. And of course all the cameras they use in traffic are already placed in maps. It's called geographical information system. So like you see in the movies, they say, oh, he's driving on this street. They click on the map and the video stream opens and they can see you driving by. It's just as simple as that. It's true, it's really happening. So don't hack my customers, please hack that. Okay? Oh, let's go back one. I said here, click to see. And you're going to like this. Okay. This is a live stream at this moment.
I drove by there yesterday.
You did?
Hey, it's your car!
That's your,
My car.
How's your girlfriend?
the fun thing about these pages is, and that is, I think you really like that, this is how we do it. Look for the source, and scroll down and scroll, hey, this is the camera, I take the I take the IP address.
It's a direct feed, isn't it?
Sorry?
It's a direct camera.
The direct camera, let's see what happens. 82.95.
You already been there.
I tried the password. This is the camera, like when I have this is the camera asking me for login. And usually this root and pass, but not this.
Oh damn.
But you can try root and admin and 90% of the time, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think it's your business, not mine. But
why are they putting it directly on the internet? Because if a lot of people are looking on these images, then the camera could.
I don't know.
We could DOS those cameras.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish you good luck. Please send me more information if you have the password. I can use the images in my presentation. So anyway, what we see here, cameras are a lot used in traffic, and of course for good purpose, but they can be used for a bad purpose as well. This actually is the Rotterdam-Rijnmond Police control room. I've been there many times. You cannot get in there if you're not screened, and on every monitor there are some public cameras available. And actually the people sitting in front are not police officers. There's only one police officer sitting behind them, and he is officially in control. And I can give you a lot of examples, like when somebody is trying to steal a bike somewhere, and they zoom in the camera, and he's trying to steal a bike. Oh, actually, I know one example of a guy, he was throwing a stolen bike in the water. And it was really like this, hey, what are you doing? You're under arrest. Come on, come with us. How do you know how to do it? really like this. Okay. You see a lot of these cameras on the streets, and they are often monitored by public surveillance, not by the police. Okay, mobile cameras. So, mobile cameras. What do I have to think about mobile cameras? What you see here is actually one of the gadgets I brought with me. This is called PMRS. I don't know. It's a multimedia streaming system. This unit has a SIM card in there. It has a camera. It can be turned on like this, and the police is able to see and record everything. But it has GPS in there. It has of course, a video camera, and you can send out the video, and you can send out your GPS coordinates to an alarm control room, and they can monitor everything the guy does. And of course, I have a video with me. This is the video that we cannot publicly show.
We cut it out.
So, this is actually a recording. And you can see the quality. This is live streaming quality.
Over 3G?
Over 3G.
That's not bad. How many data does it use?
In my car, I'm using about 320 kilobits a second per camera.
It's quite good.
But depending on the quality that you want. If you want to have HD, you're going over a megabit. But it's used for proof. But it also has a button. If it's pressed, then he needs help. Yeah? So if you want to have a look at these things, you can have it later. Of course, this video takes quite long, so I quit it here. So, also, police cars are equipped with cameras nowadays. More and more it's going to happen. They all are pilot projects.
Toys for boys.
So, you see some examples here of police cars that are equipped with cameras. And actually, I really like this camera here. This is, we call him Metal Mickey. The camera is made by Bosch. And it's an analog camera, but it has great quality image. But if we have to equip every police car with this camera, it's going to cost, especially in this time, it's not affordable. I believe this camera is 10,000 euros. So, if we have a cheaper version, we can have a look at this camera. I think this is maybe a 500 euro camera.
And it's the one that can look in 360 degrees directions?
Yes, it can be done. Actually, my car, it's behind there, is equipped with some cameras, and I'm going to show you a video of how that.
So we have to leave the other way? We have to leave the other way?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
So, also ambulances, more and more are equipped with cameras. Outside, not the inside, because they don't want to record their mistakes. They want to record the people that attack the ambulances. And as you can see, this ambulance is equipped with 1, 2, 3, and I guess the other side 4 or 5 cameras outside.
The backside.
Of course, everything. Maybe backside as well.
6.
Yeah, 6 cameras. Well, my car has only 3. Yeah, this is the movie. This is the movie of my car. You know the series Knight Rider? I used to be a big fan of Knight Rider.
You still are.
Still are.
Blinking lights.
That's the company I work for.
Oh, speaking.
This is a screen in my car. At this moment, the live streaming to an alarm control room. Receive an alert, receive the car. I have new lights, I have blue ones now. Usually helps a lot. This is the quality that is received over 3G. in an alarm control room. Actually, this was last year. Now the quality is a lot better. Of course, we have to receive it by phone. Mobile, everything mobile? Yeah, of course. This is over 3G, my backyard. Of course, I have to see if neighbor is not cutting my fence. I can also do it inside my house. Very useful if I'm on a business trip. I have video content analysis on my cameras, cheating analytics. If my wife is cheating, I get an email.
I see the horizontal moving.
That's why you got turbo imaging.
Okay, this is going to be exciting. Do you remember the I forget her name. It was a woman from the royal family, and she said that everybody was spying on her. Yeah. Okay. Is it true? Yeah, it's true. Because we can put cameras inside piers, and you can do SD recording. No one will. You will not see that you are recorded. Definitely not. Especially, you will see, where will you see these cameras? These cameras you will see in conference rooms of big companies. Yeah.
Like over there.
Yeah, like that one. Yeah. But that is a real one, I guess. You never know. Just look for a small hole. Yeah, if you see a very small hole, then make sure that you're not cheating. Smoke alert systems, I brought one.
Sorry.
Yes, this is a camera. Look, on the inside there is a spy camera. You can see it later. It's an analog camera, but we can simply convert it to IP using an encoder like this one. And by the way, this encoder already has one. Little spy camera on there.
Actually, detection is quite easy. Just take a look from 2 smoke detectors.
Yeah. You have 2 smoke detectors here.
It's not entirely true, but...
Sprinkler systems.
Do they have infrared now?
Sorry?
Do they have infrared?
No, this is too small for infrared.
Yeah.
Screws. They're screwed. If you look at this, I'll lose my. Here you see the little lens inside the screw. But always behind a small thing, there always is something big. And in this case, you see the unit, the cream plate. I don't know what the board. Yeah, the board is always larger than the camera, so it's always behind somewhere. If you see a screw that you think, why is there a screw? Just pull it out of the wall. Okay, there's a lot of stuff where you can hide the cameras in, like clocks, little lamps, all kind of stuff that you can do here. Oh, this is actually the board with the camera, and this is the unit that I just showed you. Yeah, that's the fun thing, because actually this is all. I do power over Ethernet in here. I plug the camera, whatever camera it is. It can be a screw, it can be a smoke detector or whatever. You hide it somewhere on the ceiling, and you're ready to go. Wife cheating mode. Okay. I thought I'd make this presentation a little bit in your style. So, what? Oh my God, can I really need all those cameras like in the movies? Hell yeah. We have found there's a forum, as you can see, an open industry forum for the development of global standard for the interface of IP-based physical security products. Yes, ONVIF is danger. ONVIF is an open communication standard, but not only for cameras. Currently, they already produced over 2,000 different products that are ONVIF compatible. So that means that everyone that knows the ONVIF language can talk to an ONVIF camera. For example, VLC media player. You can use VLC. Oh shit, did I? You can use VLC to communicate to a camera. Why? Because the ONVIF protocol is made out of RTSP streaming protocol and SOAP interfacing. So we did not hear that from you. Do we have to be worried about these standards? Well, I'm kind of worried, because what is needed for someone to say, okay, now we're taking over these cameras and we're taking over these cameras, it's made simple. The company I worked for a few years ago, we were very special because we were interfacing with over 50 different brands. But that's not special anymore today, because we have ONVIF. And we can communicate with any brand you want. 20 years ago, you had a camera system made by Bosch or by Siemens or by Honeywell, and you could never combine those things together. And now we have ONVIF. So, but there are more protocols for security alarm systems. We have the SIA protocol, and I'm very interested in the next talk. And because we use the SIA protocol in our software.
Oh wow.
But there also is OBC protocol for communication with contacts and auxiliaries. So all these universal protocols link everything together, and everyone wants to do IP today, so you know, are we going too far? Are we going too far? Well, we have Google. I think Google is the largest privacy violating company in the world. But they also made some nice gadgets that we all want to have. The Google glasses. Do you want to have the Google glasses? I want to have them. Yeah. But look what they do. They make a combination of video, data, global, geographical information systems. They do everything that we scare of. So, but we all want to have it. Look at this helicopter here. Actually, I'm going to show you the next helicopter. This is a drone made by a company in the Nordics, and it's being used by the Benelux governments to watch you. This actually, as you can see here, can hold FLIR cameras. And it can also hold directional microphones. And it can fly over 100 meters on top of you. You won't see it, you won't hear it, but they will listening in. They are listening, they see you walking around, and they hear you talking.
Yeah.
And what's the color? Well, this one is black, but the ones used are gray. When you look up, you will not notice it, you will not hear it, you will not see it. But it's already in use. But you did not hear that from me, because that's a partner of mine working in Belgium. Remember the other spy airplane I showed you in the previously? I looked up some information on that airplane from the Congressional Research Service about that airplane. It can fly over, well, it says, electro-optical sensors, cameras, can identify an object of the size of a milk carton from an altitude of 60,000 feet. Calculate that. 18 kilometers. 18, that's twice as high as a commercial aircraft. You won't hear it, you won't see it, but it will spot you and bomb you. Okay. One of my latest slides is, are we going too far? Privacy versus security. Look what's already possible. I just showed you some real-time examples. Yeah. Every cell phone has a camera. has a GPS and non-removable batteries and are said to be able to be turned on remote. Yeah, you can turn on the microphone, you can turn on the camera, we can. So cars get equipped with tracking systems. My boss, he has an Audi A7, very nice car. It has a class 5 alarm system in there, including a tracking system. And if somebody steals his car or he is kidnapping, then remotely they can turn off his car. Well, you don't have to be afraid, of course, because it's all in our use. Cameras are being used as sensors for video, audio, and our behavior. Do we let them control our behavior? No, we put them together, we take the GPS coordinates and we put them on a geographical information system, and they can always see where you are. Auxiliaries and contacts are also connected to the network, so we are at this moment on social networks. It's also very nice. Or social networks are able to use IP and GPS info, streaming video, and our keyboard monitors. I've been there in this alarm control room, and I've seen 2 police officers spotting Twitter all day. Don't worry, don't use Twitter. The technology exists, and the infrastructure already exists. Who's smart enough to connect everything together? Or is it already connected together? Up to you guys what you want to do with it. Last thing, please don't affect my customers. I'll come back for you, and I have another hobby, but Young he will tell you about. Okay, thank you.
Okay, let me. Oh, sorry.
Well, we have one question.
Sorry? One question. What happens if somebody uses a 3G jammer?
I think the police officer will lose signal.
Yeah. Is that going to be a problem?
For now, but maybe later. I'm not. The main worries about from the police at this moment is the loss of bandwidth. Of course, they have special cells on the cell phone towers where they have but not always. For example, in big events, they take these cameras with them. But a lot of people are already calling. Imagine a bombing on Amsterdam Central, and the police is going there, and everybody is calling. Oh, and they will not have signal on their phones. But they're working on it right now to find a solution on that.
Is that also why the Dutch Parliament now, is talking about giving the free frequencies which are not used yet? They want to take it into public and create more bandwidth for all activated users. Is it also one of the reasons why they?
I'm not sure. I guess so. I know
they have private frequencies already with the full backup network.
Actually, the highest frequencies are reserved for the military. I've been in the military IT for a few years with them, 12.5 years, and they reserve the gigahertz bands for the military, and can also be used in this country.
And you can use one boil
Okay. By the way, if in break time you can have a look at the system. I brought some cameras here. This is my demo kit when I visit a customer, and there's some stuff here connected. I have a few cameras connected there. We can work with maps, we can work with motion detection, as you can see. There's this temperature, airflow, humidity sensors connected to it. So as you can see, contacts, auxiliaries, everything is connected, so we can play around with it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Dave, thank you very much. For all the speakers, we have a small present. I just realized the fact that you actually prefer a bottle of Coke instead of a bottle of this, but I still hope you will enjoy it.
There's alcohol in it?
Yes.
It's okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Bart.